with a very special guest for the first episode in the series, Mr. Jalen Smalls, owner and operator of Rare Fitness. What's up, Jalen? How you doing today?
Yo, I'm feeling good, bro. Every day is a great day, bro. You know that. Let's get it.
Yeah. So really, I'm really interested because I've been following you for years now. We've known each other for a minute, and every
Dope.
time I see your videos, I'm always inspired to do workouts because I don't like going to the gym. So especially during the pandemic, doing those home workouts, I was saving your videos. I was like, damn, this dude really get into it.
Yeah,
So
bro.
is that really like what inspired you to start the business, was just to inspire other people to take fitness more seriously if they're not really like comfortable with the whole gym thing?
No. Funny enough, what actually inspired me to start the business is literally my family, bro.
Mm.
I grew up playing football, right? So I was always very active. But what inspired me to start the fitness business and actually like get into that and just push that was my family, bro, and then the Black community in general. Like, how many of us are overweight? How many of us are suffering from cardiovascular problems? How many of us are suffering diabetes?
Yeah, heart
Even,
disease, all that, high blood pressure.
you get what I'm saying? So like that's actually what inspired me to start this business, to actually just keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep pushing it. It wasn't necessarily like inspiration. Though I know I do inspire, it wasn't necessarily inspiration. It was really just like, whoa, like we're in a bad state health wise. What can I
Hmm.
do to change that? You know? Because
Oh,
also
that's
too,
what's up.
yeah, bro. When I first started the business, I was vegan. I turned vegan when I was about like 19, and I stayed vegan for about like 6 years. I stopped when I was 25. So like I started the business when I was vegan as well. So like health, nutrition, what I was taking into my body was also a very important component of the entire fitness business for me anyway.
So what would you say like the initial response was like, especially from your family, since they're the ones that really got you into the business? Like what were their reactions to you doing this and even being vegan too?
Bro, bro, bro. When I tell you that I would say their reactions strengthened my what's the word for it? My resolve or my determination. Because
Mm.
when I tell you, almost none of them took it well. Like nobody in my family took it well, bro. Like I'm from a Southern family. You know what I mean? My grandma was ham hocks, pig feet. So,
Ooh. Oh, so everything fried, everything deep fried, like
you
they
feel
on it.
so no, bro, none of them took it well. But the fact that everybody was telling me how crazy I was or that I shouldn't be doing it definitely, for me, like it definitely was a good marker, because I realized if everybody is suffering from cardio problems, if everybody's suffering like in their older age, they can't move, everybody's overweight. Um, my older cousin, simple example, he got diabetes when he was about 29, which is really really early. So like,
Mm.
if everybody's suffering health wise, but everybody views what I'm doing as crazy, then maybe I'm doing the right thing because we're all suffering. You
Right.
get what I'm saying? So
So is
that's
that really how you started to identify who your core audience would be for this business, really targeting the people who are dealing with these underlying health issues and really are skeptical about, the different ways that are available for them to kind of fix those things?
absolutely, absolutely. I would say my core audience has changed over time, but I would say when I first started, yes, my core audience was my family. It was Black people. It was the African American community, the Caribbean community. It was the
Mhm.
people that look like us. That was absolutely my core audience to start off with, and it was really just me looking around.
Right. Yeah, and that's really one of the best ways, for people to start a business. One of the things that I always tell my clients is like, just look around you. Like, what problems are you identifying in your immediate community that you feel like you can fix? When I was working, as a business advisor, there
Yep.
were these three questions that we would always ask is like, what value do you provide? Who do you
Hmm.
provide it to? And why would
Hmm.
they want to do business with you specifically? So
Hmm.
in terms of like building your core audience and even changing and adapting it based on what you're seeing, what type of research did you have to do in order to make sure that the goals of your company were in line with the values of the people that you were trying to serve?
So that's a complex question. The difficulty in it is the difficulty there was the research that I had to do and the research that I did continuously didn't necessarily align with the values of my community, because health-wise, what were the values? In our community, we like to enjoy our food. We really like our food. It's like a celebration. It's like a ritual. We like to enjoy our food. When it comes to leisure, well, when it comes to exercise, if there's no purpose behind the exercise, then it's very, very hard to get us to find a purpose in the exercise. So
Right.
me doing the research to discover, like, okay, how does exercise affect cardiovascular disease? How does exercise affect diabetes? Me doing the research to find out how exercise can positively affect those things didn't necessarily help me plug it into the value portion of my community. What I kind of had to start doing was framing it to specific people, like, okay, well, do you want to play with your grandkids? You get what I'm saying?
So it's more emotional for them
Right.
rather than
Right.
like rational.
Right. Right. I had to take on that portion of it. Do you want to play with your grandkids? Do you want to be able to like bend down and get up and do, like, my experience, I'll say at Equinox, they helped me out with that a lot, because that's how they kind of preached, and they kind of, because it's a different community in Equinox, but that's how they taught us to teach them. So I said, oh, that's how I need to be bringing it to, you get what I'm saying? And also to expand a little bit too, because I worked a lot with kids. I had a like great fitness contract with kids. With them, it's okay, solely what tastes good. Solely what tastes good. Okay, I have to get them to understand that yes, this banana is just as sweet as the soda. So like, guys, when you go to the corner store, the banana word, get a banana and some water. Don't drink this soda. Like like, you get what I'm saying? So that it was very, bro, difficult. Because
That's
I'm,
interesting. That's really interesting. It's not just about the exercise. You also
yes,
got to fuel yourself with the right things. So, what would you say is like the percentage of like your focus on nutrition and actually executing on the exercises that you're giving to your clients?
so for me, it depends on what they're asking me for. It always depends on what they're asking me for. I always try to, if somebody asks me just for a fitness plan, the first thing I tell them before, okay, well, how much are you sleeping? What does your diet look like regularly?
Mm,
Those are the two things I always ask them. How much are you sleeping? What does your diet look like regularly? Like, walk me through a day of you eating. If you can walk
right.
me through a day of you eating, or maybe 2 or 3 days of you eating, then I'll start with, okay, you should remove that and you should remove this before I give you just a fitness plan. You get what I'm saying? But if they ask,
Oh.
absolutely, absolutely. But if they ask me for a nutrition plan, then I'll give them a full nutrition plan. You understand? Um, but yeah, a lot of them, it really does depend on what they're asking me for. If they ask me for fitness plan, I'll give them that with a little bit of nutrition sprinkled in, a little bit of habit sprinkled in. Or if they ask me for a full nutrition breakdown, oh yes, absolutely. We could go through substitutions, we could go through sample meals, we could, yes, absolutely.
So you can't even start with somebody unless they're already have good eating habits and sleeping habits.
I try not to. I try not to. So like
Because then
a
that's going to
simple,
affect the results as well.
yes, yes, I can give. I'll use one of my friends as an example, because he comes to me a lot for like any type of fitness, anything. I gave him like a very, very detailed 10-week plan, and over the course of the 10-week plan, like, he kept falling off, because the plans, exercise wise, they're going to be progressed. So week 6 is going to be harder than week 1, and if you're not sleeping properly and you're not eating properly, you're not going to be able to do week 6, and it's going to be very demoralizing, because you feel like you've kept progress throughout, but you haven't kept progress throughout with the stuff on the back end. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I always try to say, okay, well, like, bro, if you're only sleeping 4 hours a day because that's your schedule, you only need to work out 2, maybe 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? Your body has to rest.
I've felt it myself, when you don't get quality sleep, not only is your mind just not operating at the highest level that it could, but you feel that in your body too. So hearing you say that, sleep is really important and essential, I really like that. So as far as getting people to understand that, are you kind of just like presenting them with like your own experiences, or like you giving them some type of research, or you telling them like, hey, try this and try that and just see how you feel? Like, how does that work as far as like you educating your customers? Because I would imagine that's a really big portion of your business, is just really trying to get them to buy into the mindset and the
Yes.
mentality to build up those good habits so they can really get the results that they're looking for.
Yes. So it all depends upon how far the person, like how much does the person want to know? At what point do they start listening to me? At what point do they, you get what I'm saying? So if I tell the person, hey, listen, you only need to work out 2 times a week until you start sleeping more regularly. And then the next week they make a habit to, then I don't even necessarily go into the information part. But if it's a person who is like, I don't want to say like hardwired, if they're like a high energy person and they don't sleep often, then I start to get into the education part and say, hey, listen, the average is if you sleep 5 to 6 hours per night, for about 3 to 4 years, you're 30% more likely to get Alzheimer's by the age of like 55. You get what I'm saying? Like I start to,
and that's a big thing in the Black community too.
Exactly. Alzheimer's and dementia, like those two really, really do hit us hard. So like, if they're really still hesitant, then I just start to try to get more information. And yeah, but that part's always has some difficulty for me because like you said, people got to work hard. And sleep is usually the first thing that gets sacrificed, bro. Like I was in a space where I had to sacrifice my sleep. And then what did I have to do? I had to scale my workouts back to like 2 times per week. I could not work out often because my body would just feel it. Scaled it back 2 times a week. And then I just made sure I ate as clean as possible. But sleep is vital, bro. It's very, very vital.
Yeah. Hashtag team all sleep. I'm getting 7 to 8 hours a night, no matter what.
Word, bro. And if you lift weights, you should try to get to 10. But that's another, that's more
10 hours.
Yes, bro. 10 hours. If you lift weights, you should sleep 10 hours.
In this hustle culture, man, that's like a legendary status right there. I don't think I know anybody that gets 10 hours of sleep a night.
Me either. Me either. But that's what the research will tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, especially with all these distractions and everything. So while we're on the topic of time, one of the biggest things, being an entrepreneur and also working a full-time job, because not everybody can just make that transition so easily. How do you manage your time to make sure that you're not cheating yourself in any aspect of your life, making sure that you're being still a good employee, a good friend, a good brother, son, whatever, all of these things? Like, how do you really manage all of these different parts of your life to keep the business going?
Yo, so I want to say this. Something is going to suffer. I'm going to leave with that. I'm going to leave with that. Like if we chilled, then we chilled right after work for 15 minutes before I went to the gym type shit. And that's just like, it's something that's going to suffer. You get what I'm saying? And if I would say like ideal situation for your interpersonal relationships not to suffer is you got your family at home, you come home and everybody's still up after a long day. So you spend some time with them before they go to sleep. And you wake up, you probably out the house or they probably out the house. Or you know what I'm saying? So it's like something, I wouldn't say I do a great job managing it. I'll say that. I wouldn't say I do a great job because in terms of like, that's the thing that I realized had to suffer. Before when I was letting my sleep suffer, it was like, damn, like I'm zombie in the brain right now. I'm drinking 4 cups of coffee a day. I'm zombie. But when I started saying, okay, I'm prioritize my sleep, prioritize fitness, prioritize my business, and I got to spend 8 hours at work. That had to
So it's really all about just managing your priorities. You really have to assess what's the most important thing to you. Because if you treat everything with urgency, then nothing is urgent. You know, not everything is at the same level of importance.
Right. I'll give a simple example, right? In the precision nutrition, and I like the way they put this, the precision nutrition certification, right? They said your body is your jaw, right? You got your cup, but imagine it as a jaw. You got your big rocks. What's my big rocks? My business, my 9 to 5, my education to some degree, how many books or whatever I could read, or that's my big rocks, right?
Yeah.
Big rocks take up mad space in the jar. Then you got all your other little rocks. Okay, well, what do you need for you? You need a meditation. You might need to eat well, so you gotta spend time meal prepping. The gym. I can technically run a fitness business without having to work out. I don't have to work out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a coach, and then I have my merch and stuff. I technically don't have to work out, but that's still a little rock for me because I like working out. So now,
Yeah.
you get your big rocks, then you get your little rocks that fit in the jar around it, and then after that, what else can you put in there? You can only put sand.
Mm.
So what's your sand gonna be? You know what I'm saying? What do you need for your mental sanity? All right, you might need Saturday afternoons to watch college football. That's your sand, and that's it.
Yeah. My thing is basketball. Now that we're in basketball season, I literally stopped watching most TV shows because
Right?
it's like I can't have my regular TV shows and be obsessed about basketball. Like something's got to go.
Exactly. The regular TV shows, they go get out
Yeah,
there.
like it is out.
Yeah.
I
So
really
that's
like
how
that
you do
analogy.
it. Yeah.
So how long do you think it took you to really get to that point of not only understanding that, but being able to successfully implement it into your life? What was that kind of like process like for you?
I'm a very weird person because, bro, do you remember me from high school?
Yes, I do.
How many parties did you see me at?
Very few. I could count on one hand how many parties I saw you at, throughout the time because you were always focused. I remember, when I was briefly on the football team, you were like on it. Like you were really like dedicated like to everything that you were doing. And I really admired that about you. Like you
Bro,
had a level of focus that was very rare to see.
that's why it wasn't hard. It's always been like a switch for me. It wasn't hard for me to do it. What's hard for me to do is say, damn, I can't have no fun right now. I can't like, like, you know what I'm saying? It was never hard for me to just like go into it, but it was always hard for me to say like, I I I just can't be with my friends, or I can't be with that girl. I can't like, no, I cannot take you out this weekend. I, I don't know what you want me to do. You get what I'm saying? That's the difficult part for me. Actually implementing it, nah, I always just, if I feel like it's time, it's time,
Mhm.
I
So
just,
one of the things that I've learned over this, journey of being an entrepreneur is that
Mhm.
motivation and discipline are two completely different things.
yes.
You need to be disciplined in order to get what you want, but that you're not always going to be motivated to do it. So I
Yes.
guess how was it for you managing the time and managing your energy? Like
Mhm.
what was really like the system that you put into place to help that, a lot easier for you so you don't need to always feel motivated to get the things done that you need?
Um, I would say I wouldn't necessarily say it was a system. I would say it was more like mental stuff. Like if I'm not feeling motivated, it's a little weird, but it's kind of like a negative self talk kind of thing. Like like somebody gonna beat you. Like you don't feel like doing it, but somebody gonna
Mm,
do it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like somebody took your situation and won with it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like just stuff like that. Like oh, you don't feel like going to the gym today. You didn't go yesterday, or like, oh, you don't feel like getting that done. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's coming for your spot.
Yeah, where somebody gonna do it, and they gonna be successful when they do it, and you gonna be mad, and so you might as well just do it. Like, like
Yeah, there's always somebody that's hungrier than you, no
exactly,
matter what. And it's
exactly,
especially in the industry that you're in where you're focused on fitness and health, like that's really like you got to practice what you preach.
exactly, exactly. So I don't necessarily say, well, that is just saying no, just saying the word no to
Mm.
those two things. You gotta get used to telling people outright no. Like this this is so 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 I was with my shorty, and all good things, all positive vibes. Just to give you a simple example, she liked to go out on vacations and stuff with her sisters a lot. She liked to wherever her
Mhm.
sisters was going, she liked to go. And I had a conversation with her older sister, and I was just talking about like where because we had just moved. So I was talking about like where we wanted to be or where I wanted to be and stuff in terms of finances, so on and so forth. Like things reasons why I don't do nothing. And
Yeah.
the sister was like, okay, that's smart. And then we chilled. It was all of us chilling together. They went to dinner or something like that. We was all chilling together. And then the older sister's friend was like, yo, I want to go on vacation here, blah, blah, blah. I just feel nervous if we don't have a trip planned. And then, my girl at the time was like, yeah, I want to go to blah, 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 blah. And then they asked me, they was like, well, Jalen, are you going? I said, no, I just told y'all no like 15 minutes ago. Like, because I just said, and the older sister was like, but you see how it happens? And I was like, oh, got it. You get what I'm saying? I was like, got it. Sometimes in the space, you have to say, just no to the fun. Like, yeah, that shit sound like it's going to be, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, St. Thomas, yeah, that's probably going to be lit. But no, because it's going to be a problem when you come back. It's going to be
because there's an opportunity cost. That's what it is. When you're spending time somewhere else is not going to get that time. It's the same thing with money. You spend $50 on something else, now you don't have the 50 for something else that may be important. So it's really about, like, back to what you're saying about the priorities. Like, it really applies to everything. And I always tell people, no is a complete sentence.
Facts.
And using the power of no can really free up so much of your resources in life.
Facts.
And not everybody's going to understand why you're saying no. And it's really not really for them to understand.
Because if they mess with you, if they like you, they're going to be like, oh, all right, well, he said no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's it.
So what has it been like, I guess, because even though you are running this business by yourself, there are still people in your life that support you, because we can't do anything really truly alone. So what type of support have you gotten, either from your friends, your family, and even your clients as well? Like, can you speak to what that experience has been like?
Bro, life-saving, breathtaking. Like, cause I don't expect people to do a lot of things for me. So whenever somebody does do something, it's just like, yo, you know what I mean? Like, thank you. Simple example is, right, like, I don't want to call him my supervisor now. He's kind of like a mentor, kind of, right? So one of my biggest fitness contracts, fitness payouts, yo, he got it for me. Working with the kids in the school, he got it for me. He said, yo, we're going to bring you on, fill out the paperwork, contractor, give us your tax ID, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And because you have all of this stuff on your end done, when it comes time, we're going to give you like 70 an hour or whatever. And then it turned out to be like, the checks at the end of the month turned out to be like $2,500 for the most part. So it's like, that's something that he also didn't have to do for me. But he said, yo, because you did the little things on the back end, I could give you this opportunity in this space. And like, different level of support, bro. Just, you know what I mean? Just thankful.
That's awesome. And when people see you being consistent with that energy and with that effort, then they're really bringing opportunities to you.
Facts.
Something that
Facts.
I talked to a lot about. One of my friends told me, he said, you can't ask for opportunities that you're not ready for. Because if I come to you and I say, all right, this is what I got for you, and you trying to like hold back and be like, oh no, I got to do this, I got to do that. Basically, like you stay ready so you don't got to get ready.
Facts. Facts. And sometimes too, you better off saying yes and then learning. You know what I'm saying? You learn on the
Facts.
way, and then when you mess up, say, oh, okay, I messed that up. But you still did your best, and you still got most of the job done to your best ability. You know what I mean?
Right. That's funny. I've definitely been in those situations like that before. People ask me to do something, I'm just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then I go on YouTube, I go on Google, try to figure out like how to get it done, put my own little twist on it.
Yeah. That's what it's about. And I feel like people confuse that with like faking it until you make it. I don't think that's faking it. I think that's like, I want this experience. I want this opportunity. Like, the key to being good at something is actually starting it. You got to be bad first. So might as well just say yes.
Yes, that's true. Like, you can't get to level 100 without starting at level 1. Like, you have to be a novice first. You have to fail. Yes. Like, that's really, people see like, especially with this culture that we're living in, where people are only posting the highlights of their life on social media, and they're not really seeing the real grind and the real suffering and just like all the missteps that it takes to get to that point. Like, they only just see like the finished product and think that everything was so simple and easy. Right. But like you said, it's just like you have to like get those reps in. and then it really becomes like second nature. So I guess for you, how did you continue to, I guess, reassure yourself that you were on the right path when you were kind of going through those growing pains and really just figuring it all out to get to where you're at right now?
Whoa. So I have two examples, or two experiences that like helped me shape that. The first thing is just football. So I was playing football since I was like 7, bro. Since I was like 7. I started off my first year, I was a lineman, and I was the skinniest, smallest little kid. But like I was always like scrappy, because I had a bunch of older cousins who would always beat me up.
Yeah.
So, I was just real scrappy.
Shout out to the older cousins, man, making you tough.
Love to them, yo, for real. But I started off on the line, bro. I started off on the line, and but I was pretty fast and everything. And then one game, I want to say our quarterback got injured or something. Like he had to get staples in his head, something like that. And I don't know how coach picked me, but he decided to put me at running back. Gave me the ball. Somebody got hit into the backfield. I jumped over him, took a cut, and boom, I scored. I scored. First time I ever got the ball, bro. First time I ever touched the ball in my hands, I scored. So from then, next year, I was quarterback. And what's funny is I was talking to my mom about it before, when I was like, real young. And I was like, Ma, I don't want to play line. I want to play running back. I want to play line. I want to play running back. She was like, boy, just keep playing. Take your time. Keep playing. And you're going to get an opportunity. And when you get your opportunity, it's going to be good. And that's exactly what happened to me. I got my opportunity, hopped over dude, and was out, bro. So, that's like that's like the first example I have of just sometimes just stick it out. And then the second thing I want to say is, when I left college the first time and I started working again, I forgot which book it was, but my aunt gave me a book that was just like, she gave me a book list. I forgot which book it was, the book list. I want to say it was like Grit or something like that. But Grit by Angela Duckworth. But the book, the book essentially said, like, you have to find little wins in your process. Like you have to, the thing that's gonna keep you going is like your tiny wins, or like just simply checking off the daily goals, feeling good about the daily goals. Feel like the daily goals are your little mini championships. If you feel like the daily goals are your mini championships, then you'll be able to keep going. And then when you actually finally win, it's gonna be like, well, yes, I've been doing this the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you building it brick by brick.
Right.
You
So
really laying the foundation.
Right. And it's like I think the thing that made it click for me was the fact that they said, feel good doing the bricks. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't just do the bricks, but feel good doing the bricks. And then then you'll keep going, and then you won't you won't have to worry about stopping.
Yeah, because there's really no shortcuts.
Right.
It's wild. Like, people always want to ask, like, what's the secret? Like, what's like the easy way to get it done? It's just consistency and hard work, is what you're saying.
Facts. And then like you, I'll say, okay, I'll give a secret. If you know somebody that knows somebody, they could probably put you on. But like we talked about earlier, if they give you the opportunity and you ain't ready for it, you ain't put in the work,
you fumble the bag.
You're gonna fumble the bag. So
you can't do that.
So it's just putting in the work.
So I like that you talked about knowing somebody to know somebody, because you mentioned earlier that you have a mentor. Yeah. So can you speak to me about, I guess, one, how did you find that mentor, and what do you think is the importance of having one?
Well, I found a mentor through my coach. Actually, my coach gave me my Pop Warner coach. He gave me a job opportunity. Through the job opportunity, that's when I found the dude. And he's not necessarily a fitness business mentor, which I'll openly admit I definitely needed that to start out with. I was real hard-headed, so I didn't really allow people to tell me what to do. But he's definitely been like a general life mentor in that sense. He's definitely been a general, oh, okay, so like, bro, you should take that route, or oh, okay, you should take that route. And now we're actually close. We speak a lot, so I run like a lot of ideas and stuff like that by him. He goes, oh, okay, so you need to do this, and this. Okay, fix that for that, fix that for this. So in terms of the importance of a mentor, like through the roof, because you can't invaluable, bro. Invaluable. Like you when it comes to being a trailblazer, like yes, you're gonna like try to go places that nobody has ever gone. But if you want a great level of success and you're trying to go somewhere and you know somebody has already done this, talk to them. You get what
Yeah,
I'm
because they got the playbook. They got the whole playbook.
Allow them
like,
to
why wouldn't you take advantage of that?
Exactly. And so it's like, yeah, you're gonna make your mistakes and they're gonna want you to make your mistakes. But at the same time, if they telling you like this works, just do this real quick. You know what I'm saying? So that's that I would say, like you said, invaluable, bro. Invaluable. And if advice for anybody starting out, go get one. Decide that, okay, yes, you want to have your business, you want to do all of this, you want to like by yourself, go get that mentor. If you got to work a simple job or whatever to pay for mentor coaching sessions, go ahead and do that because it's invaluable. Make sure you find a good one. Make sure you find an actual successful one. You know, ask for their receipts.
Yeah, not all advice is good advice.
Right. Right. But you know, definitely, if you just starting out, definitely get a mentor. And even if you're an older person just starting out in the business, go get a mentor. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yo, for real. I think that, you know, a lot of people, maybe because of pride, they don't want to humble themselves in that way, to like really ask somebody like, hey, show me how it's done, like really educate me. And like, because I think that you kind of have to, like you said, you just need somebody who's already has the playbook.
Facts.
Because you're just wasting your time spinning your wheels trying to like, there was I forgot what song it was, but Pusha T said something on his new album. He said, I didn't have to reinvent the wheel, just had a better design.
Facts.
And I was like, yo, that's gospel, son. Like,
Facts.
for real. Like,
That's
you don't have to
innovation.
reinvent the wheel.
You don't. That's innovation, bro.
So I guess, and it's really funny because you mentioned that you worked at Equinox as well, you know, while you were starting the business. So do you think that experience also served as kind of like, I guess, an apprenticeship in some way? Like you had mentors in your own, you know, work life? Because, you know, obviously those two things go hand in hand.
Yo, so my experience at Equinox was great, like education wise, and I want to say education wise, and there's another word that I'm looking for, business savvy wise, I guess, or business education wise, I guess, because there's like a lot of little nuances in being a trainer that's like okay, simple one, right? All of your female clients, they're your clients, and that's it. You get what I'm saying? Like that's one of the biggest, like, yo, they're your clients. That's it. Don't talk to the same, like the girls that are. Don't date those girls in the gym. Don't do that. Go to another gym, date them. Like, you know, those little nuances. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, because people don't understand how much that can ruin your business. Like just messing with your clients or messing with your partners, that can ruin your business. Because when the relationship goes sour, their emotions are gonna come in the way of it's
and bad mouth you all over the world, like drag your name through the mud.
exactly. So it's like, you know what I mean? Little stuff like that. That being at Equinox definitely helped me. Along with, you know, they do have a high level of education. Like, bro, they really do teach you a lot.
Yeah, so do you think, you know, and the reason why I asked is because I thought that was just a perfect fit for you, given that you were going to go into the industry of being a personal trainer.
Right.
Would you advise somebody who's trying to be an entrepreneur now to not only find a mentor, but get a job in the industry that you want, so you can actually learn how that business operates without having to take the big risk of doing it on your own and potentially making like a catastrophic mistake that you couldn't even see coming because you don't even have the understanding of the nuances of that business?
Bro, so like a secret, right? So a secret to entrepreneurship that a lot of us don't know because we're younger. Most people, when they start their businesses and stuff like that, they start them in their 30s after already working for 6, 7, 8 years in their industry. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. If you have the opportunity to work in the industry that you want to start a business in, go ahead. Like Ray Dalio, right? Have you read his book? Have you heard his book?
Oh yeah, of course. He's the reason why I have principles now. I
So
was like, oh, this dude's spitting.
exactly. So, like what did Ray Dalio do at first? He worked like I believe as a commodities trader for
Mhm.
a firm for like 2-3 years, and then he switched his job and he worked at another firm, and he did the job first before he started his own funder. He did the job first. So if you have the opportunity, absolutely, absolutely. If you're trying to sell a random product that you came up with, work in sales.
Yeah.
Sell a
Yeah,
product.
everybody wants to be a boss, but they don't want to be an employee first.
Right.
Because you
Right.
can't just become a boss out of nowhere. Like, or else who's gonna
Exactly.
respect you? Who's gonna
Exactly.
respect you if you haven't been in the trenches?
Nobody.
Like that doesn't make any sense to me.
And you're not
Because
gonna.
I've had experiences where people will tell me like, "Oh, I love to cook. People love my cooking, so I'm gonna open up a restaurant." I'm just like, nah, that's not how it works.
At all.
Like like, have you ever worked in a restaurant? Have you ever managed the books for a restaurant? Like at least be a server, be a bartender, like be around, like learn through osmosis, like just surround yourself with people who are doing those same things.
See what it looks like on the back end, yo. Like that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work at Equinox too, right? Because okay, I want to open a gym. I gotta work in the gym. I gotta see what it looks like to open a gym. Equinox is one of
Mhm.
those. Equinox, Lifetime Fitness. There's a couple of other like luxury, like you know what I'm saying. So if I want to open that type of gym where people spend all day here, I gotta see what it looks like on the back end. I gotta see like
Yeah,
I'm gonna go in the janitors, not the janitors. I want to go in the cleaning people's quarters. Yo, what's y'all turnover back here? Oh, y'all got 6 machines washing all white towels at the same time all day. It's crazy back. Oh, so okay, now all of the people on the floor always have clean white towel. Like you get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's stuff like that. Like they want to be a cook, they want to open a restaurant, but okay, what's the rate at which you got to put out your food? What type of restaurant are you gonna
Yeah.
open? Are you gonna just open a storefront where you get up and you cook all your food at 3 in the morning and you have everything out and ready? Are you gonna want to do that? you know?
Yeah. So what would you say, I guess, for you was your biggest shock when you started your business? That like something that just came up and just threw like a whole wrench into your plans, and you're like, damn, that came out of nowhere.
Oh, wait. So you want the biggest negative shock or you want the biggest positive shock? Because I got both.
Yo, give me both. Give me
Got
both,
both.
man.
Oh, bro. Okay, so I'll start with the negative one. My biggest negative shock, in all honesty, was how much your personal decisions in your life will affect your business.
Ooh, that part.
That was my biggest
Ooh.
like yes, your business is its own entity. Yes, your business is its own thing, and you should definitely separate it from you. Yes, absolutely. But
Mhm.
you are still running it. And if it's not built system wise to where it can run without you for the most part, and you just kind of a figurehead, or you just kind of like you already started it and it's running. If you're not there, your personal decisions will ruin or hamper or really like it will really bog down your actual business. So that was my biggest, that was my first negative, like yo, like damn, I feel like I was steamrolling, and then I did this and I did this, and I'm not steamrolling no more.
Yeah, because it's really about building the right habits. Because how
Right.
you do one thing is pretty much how you do everything. So,
Exactly.
like you said, these things can kind of spill out. Like you think you have it under control, but if you're not really being mindful of like how you're making decisions, and that's another thing I learned from Ray Dalio, is like I have like literally a list of like things that I check off before I make a big life decision. So
Facts.
that
That's
now
good.
like the process of me making those decisions becomes a lot easier because like if it does not align with my goals and my priorities, then it's
Yeah.
just not for me.
Yeah.
And it's very easy to like make that distinction once you like just check in with yourself.
Yes. That's some bro. I'm glad you said that. I'm adopting that now. I read the book, but I didn't. I'm adopting that, bro. For real, yo. Well, yo, that was a really good one. That was a really good one. Had that personal
Um,
checklist. Um,
It's important. It's important. Oh, so what's the positive shock
Bro,
that you got?
the positive shock was how much people are willing to actually pay you. Like you can make a great amount of money in business if you are a good business person, if you actually deliver, if you bring people value. People are willing to pay you good money, and it's not like I bring people value, and it's not necessarily the way that always it's not always the way that you think you're going to bring value, but just bring people value. I had one of my first clients, right? He's LGBT, so he was going through a situation with his boyfriend, right? I started to train him. He was consistent. He started training like 4 or 5 days a week, bro. Like he was like, yo, let's go. Through that process, he started looking more attractive and stuff like that. His boyfriend stopped doing certain things and so, and it just brought them closer. You get what I'm saying? And he was like, well, I was doing all this training stuff to look great for you anyway. Brought them closer. You get what I'm saying? Like that's a level of value that when I got into it for health, but relationship health. You get what I'm saying? That's something that's also very important to people that you bring to the table as a trainer. So that was one of the biggest shocks for me. Like actually, like seeing how much people are willing to pay you, seeing how much people are willing to give you if you just simply provide them value, if you simply provide them a good service. And you don't have to backbite nobody to do that either. You don't have to be stingy and backbite people. You don't got to do that.
Yeah, because it's very interesting that you say that, because I think a lot of young entrepreneurs, they struggle with that. When they first get started, they think they have to devalue their services because they just want to get their foot into the door. Like, right. I'm gonna undercut everybody on price just so that I can compete that way. But like you were saying, as long as you are serving, and that's the biggest thing, you have to be of service to your community. Because that's what's really going to inspire people to keep doing business with you. Because then it really comes down to the values. You guys have similar and shared values, and that's what really like keeps y'all in lockstep with each other. And once they recognize that, then you start to achieve that loyalty. Like that's something that money really can't buy.
Yep. And that's like is one of the things I learned at Equinox too about being a trainer is. It's weird to say, and I didn't like being in that space until I actually started to understand it. But one of the things they used to say is people like to train or work out with their friends. So yes, they're paying you. Yes, you're giving them a service, but you actually have to be a human. Be a human to this human, and then then you guys will build that bond. You guys will build that loyalty. If you're not being a human, then it's just like, I don't want to work out with this guy. He's weird.
Yeah. Yeah, because ultimately, like if you're getting into business just for selfish reasons, your people are they're gonna feel that, and that energy, they're not gonna be receptive to
it. Yep. For real. Greed like permeates. You know what I mean? Greed definitely permeates.
Yeah. And that's why people, like me, like I said, every time you post a new video, I'm in there, I'm looking, I'm watching, because you're not for real, because you're not only giving people like the fitness, but like you speaking like about motivation, the nutrition part, just like the whole mentality, and really like preaching this idea of people really being there, trying to be the best version of themselves, and really showing them that they really have the power within themselves. They just need like accountability or like a little bit of a push. And I really do respect what you're doing in that space, because it shows in the content that you're putting out that you are very genuine and authentic with the stuff that you do.
Yo, thank you. I don't want to, but Kanye going through it in the media right now. Not to say I agree with anything he's saying, or none of that.
Yeah, disclaimer.
Word, big disclaimer. One thing that I do pride myself on is just transparency. Like I want to be able to be myself in those spaces. So if I'm doing something and I can't be myself, or I can't, it's not for me. If I can't, if I can't be authentic, if I can't, say how I feel, it's not for me. So that's something I definitely try to put across at all times. Like just be authentic, just take accountability, just move forward, and like you said, be the best version of yourself. Easiest part of my job, bro, is just being myself, man. Because I think it's a passion for me. I think it's a lane. Like trying to make people into the best version of themselves. I feel like that's really like, that's something I do best.
And what advice would you give to someone who is interested in not only just starting a business, but even becoming a fitness trainer, a personal trainer who wants to, educate people on the importance of taking care of your body and also your mind?
I would say the first thing is get your education on what you're actually teaching people. Learn, learn. If you don't know what you're doing, then you shouldn't be a trainer. If you don't know what you're doing, then you shouldn't be a nutrition coach. Because there's a lot of trainers like, oh yeah, no, I'll take $20 an hour, because he probably doesn't know what he's doing, and he probably just wants the just the money. So the first thing, if you want to be an actual fitness professional, definitely figure out what you're doing. Get the education. Being a trainer is one of those industries where it's kind of like construction, where you can get your certification, or even tech. You can get a trillion different certifications and different exercise methods and different like there's a prenatal certification. I can teach pregnant women how to exercise through a certification. So just take the time and get all of your education, and then move forward. And
you just got to stay a student.
Stay a student.
You got to stay a student.
Absolutely, stay a student, and get that mentor. Get the mentor that's going to tell you what you need to hear and not what you want to hear. Once you
that's important.
Once you do those two things, you'll be all right. Give yourself some time. You'll be all right.
Okay, yeah. So hear that, everybody. Be a student and find a mentor. Those are the two most important things for anybody in any industry. All right, so we're coming up at the end of our time here. I wanted to know, what are the goals for you, Jalen Smalls, being the owner of Rare Fitness? Where do you see Rare Fitness being in the next year?
What I want Rare Fitness to be is, to take over the clothing space, get into the fitness clothing space, be a lot larger in the fitness clothing space, so that people are just seeing the brand everywhere consistently. What I also want to implement is, for the month of November, we're going to start what's called paying it forward movement. So essentially, I want everybody to start doing gifts of gratitude to other people. Once we start doing those gifts of gratitude to other people, then Rare Fitness itself, which I have it set up on the back end, we're going to start doing more clothing drops, like the one I did last year with the coats, socks, so on and so forth. I'm definitely going to start doing more clothing drops and just branding that, because that's a part of our community that a lot of people, like, I want to say, don't treat well. I want to say, like, get swept under the rug, but we have to take care of. We should be trying to do more for, like, homeless people or people that are underprivileged. So the next thing I want to do is socks, scarves, gloves, coats. I have the proposal written up. I'm going to do a little, like, sock giveaway. When I do the sock giveaway, I'm going to embroider, Rare Fitness on it. So get to just,
that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, just get to spread that, give that around. And I want to partner. If any other businesses, any other small businesses want to, hook up with me on that, we can get your logo embroidered on the socks as well, and just make it part of a larger giveaway. Focusing on socks, because socks was one of the biggest things that homeless people said they needed. That's a space.
Yes, socks, underwear, and t-shirts. I think those are like the three most requested items.
Yes. That's a space that I want to get into with Rare Fitness for sure. Like, I'm making the clothing and stuff like that. So let's make the clothing. Let's, have everybody in the gyms in our clothing. And then at the same time, let's give the clothing to the people who actually need the clothing, who can't afford the clothing. So that's, those are the two spaces that I want to get into for sure for the next year.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I think that's extremely admirable of you. A big part of business is not just filling your own pockets, but also having a positive impact on the community as a whole. So I really like hearing what you're doing. I definitely want to be involved in that, so we could talk some more once we finish up with this, because that's also been something that's on my mind that I've been passionate about, especially us growing up in New York City. We've kind of just gotten used to seeing homeless people around, and really dehumanizing them because we're just not really in tune with what their needs are. So I really like what you're doing in that space.
Absolutely.
All right, so Jalen, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly do appreciate that. Before we finish up, tell the people where they can find you, how they could get in contact with you, get connected, book your services, find your
Rare Fitness 5, RARE, the word fitness, and 5, the number 5. That's my Instagram. My Twitter is Legendary Jalen. I don't use my Twitter as much, but you guys can still follow me on Twitter, Legendary Jalen. My main source of content or anything like that, as well as my website, rarefitness.club. Rarefitness.club. There's a membership section that's going to be open, membership service, that's going to be open probably February. I'm building it out slowly on the back end, so you guys will be able to subscribe to my actual website, not Instagram. You guys will be able to subscribe to my actual website, get exclusive content like from my blog, get exclusive weekly workouts. Also access to like a wide exercise library. So if anybody tells you to do an exercise that you don't know, you can go right to rarefitness.club, get that workout, get that exercise and see me or somebody else doing it on video. Once again, that's rarefitness.club. All right. My merch and everything is on there as well, guys. Check it out. Enjoy.
All right, you heard it. Go check them out at rarefitness.club. And we're going to have all those links in the description below so you don't have to worry about missing out on anything. Once again, Jalen, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate talking to you and really hearing your insight and your experiences. I learned a lot from this conversation, and I hope that everybody listening could take away some gems too.
Thank you. I'm glad you had me, bro.
Thank you so much for watching this conversation that I was able to have with Jalen. I wanted to end off this video by providing a lot of the key insights that I took away from it. And if there's any that I miss, please feel free to let me know in the comments below. Enjoy.
Me doing the research to discover, like, okay, how does exercise affect cardiovascular disease? How does exercise affect diabetes? Me doing the research to find out how exercise can positively affect those things didn't necessarily help me plug it into the value portion of my community. What I kind of had to start doing was framing it to specific people, like, okay, well, do you want to play with your grandkids? You get what I'm saying?
So it's more emotional for them,
Right.
rather than like rational.
Right. I had to take on that portion of it. Do you want to play with your grandkids? Do you want to be able to like bend down and get up? Your body is your jaw, right? You got your cup, but imagine as a jaw. You got your big rocks. What's my big rocks? My business, my 9 to 5. My education to some degree. How many books or whatever I could read, or that's my big rocks, right?
Yeah.
Big rocks take up mad space in the jaw. Then you got all the other little rocks. Okay, well, what do you need for you? You need a meditation. You might need to eat well, so you gotta spend time meal prepping. The gym. I can technically run a fitness business without having to work out. I don't have to work out. You know what I'm saying? I'm a coach, and then I have my merch and stuff. I technically don't have to work out, but that's still a little rock for me because I like working out. So now, you get your big rocks, then you get your little rocks that fit in the jar around it, and then after that, what else can you put in there? You can only put sand. Blah, and because you have all of this stuff on your end done, when it comes time, we're gonna give you like 70 hour or whatever. And then it turned out to be like the checks at the end of the month turned out to be like 2,500 for the most part. So it's like that's something that he also didn't have to do for me. But he said, yo, because you did the little things on the back end, I could give you this opportunity in this space. And like different level of support, bro. Just just thankful. Confuse that with like faking it until you make it. I don't think that's faking it. I think that's like, I want this experience. I want this opportunity. Like the key to being good at something is actually starting it. You got to be bad first. So might as well just say yes. You have to find little wins in your process. Like you have to, the thing that's going to keep you going is like your tiny wins, or like just simply checking off the daily goals, feeling good about the daily goals. Feel like the daily goals are your little mini championships. If you feel like the daily goals are your mini championships, then you'll be able to keep going. And then when you actually finally win, it's going to be like, well, yes, I've been doing this the whole time. He's definitely been like a general life mentor in that sense. He's definitely been a general, oh, okay, so like, bro, you should take that route, or oh, okay, you should take that route. And now we're actually close. We speak a lot, so I run like a lot of ideas and stuff like that about him. He goes, oh, okay, so you need to do this, and this. Okay, fix that for that, fix that for this. So in terms of the importance of a mentor, like through the roof, because invaluable, bro, invaluable. Like you when it comes to being a trailblazer, like yes, you're gonna like try to go places that nobody has ever gone. But if you want a great level of success and you're trying to go somewhere and you know somebody has already done this, talk to them. See what it looks like on the back end, yo. Like that's one of the reasons why I wanted to work at Equinox too, right? Because okay, I want to open a gym. I gotta work in the gym. I gotta see what it looks like to open a gym. Equinox is one of those. Equinox, Lifetime Fitness. There's a couple of other like luxury, like you know what I'm saying. So if I want to open that type of gym where people spend all day here, I gotta see what it looks like on the back end. I gotta see like I'm gonna go in the janitors. Not the janitors. I want to go in the cleaning people's quarters. Yo, what's y'all turnover back here? Oh, y'all got 6 machines washing all white towels at the same time all day. It's crazy back. Oh, so okay, now all of the people on the floor always have clean white towel. Willing to actually pay you. Like you can make a great amount of money in business if you are a good business person, if you actually deliver, if you bring people value. People are willing to pay you good money, and it's not like I bring people value, and it's not necessarily the way that always it's not always the way that you think you're going to bring value, but just bring people value. The things they used to say is people like to train or work out with their friends. So yes, they're paying you. Yes, you're giving them a service, but you actually have to be a human. Be a human to this human, and then then you guys will build that bond. You guys will build that loyalty. If you're not being a human, then it's just like, I don't want to work out with this guy. He's weird. And that, like, I'm not saying you have to go to school and get your bachelor's and stuff like that in exercise science, because not everybody has those opportunities. But being a trainer is one of those industries where it's kind of like construction, where you can get your certification, or even tech. You can get a trillion different certifications and different exercise methods and different like there's a prenatal certification. I can teach pregnant women how to exercise through a certification. So just take the time and get all of your education and then move forward.